It is starting to feel a little bit like spring outside here in North Carolina, and that means that yard sale season is just around the corner. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kelly and I like to share about secondhand shopping and our life as a family. So here I really like to educate people about secondhand shopping at yard sales and at thrift stores and figuring out how to achieve the style you want, how to clothe yourself, your family, but do it affordably. So my thing that I always say is shop secondhand first, always, and then we go from there. So I have been shopping secondhand for such a long time. I think I probably started in my teens, and it's just something that kind of stuck, and I've done it ever since then. It's something that I really enjoy. I find going to yard sales enjoyable. And then I had kids, and I have continued on going to yard sales, and it was really usually pretty easy because I have grandparents that I'm blessed that I'm able to call on and ask them, to help out. Or, the kids were younger and they were kind of just like along for the ride, and as long as they weren't too fussy, they were just kind of in their car seats. Well, flash forward, the kids are now 5 and 3, and not that that's a big leap, but we are getting older. The kids are getting older, and that means that going yard sailing has become a little bit more tricky, and this was something that I didn't really think about. So in the fall yard sale season, I experienced something that I really hadn't before, and yard sales became a place of kind of stress for me. And it wasn't the actual yard sales that were stress, but it was trying to go yard sailing and be on these kind of longer car rides with frequent stops that oftentimes really, we just had bad luck and we were not finding much, and the kids would get restless at every stop. They wanted to buy something, and if you're a parent, you can probably relate to this scenario. So it left me realizing that I needed to make some very clear changes, some very clear boundaries as we enter into yard sale season 2023. So if yard sailing is difficult for you for whatever reason, I hope that these tips will be helpful. Again, this is not what I'm advising anyone else to do. This is just what I am doing this year to put in a boundary so that I can enjoy this thing that I really do enjoy so much, and that is going to yard sales. So if you are new around here, one of my favorite things about yard sales is just that it's a fun way to connect with friends. My favorite way to yard sale is really when I'm with a friend or 2 or 3 and we make a morning of it. I love bringing breakfast or getting breakfast while we are out, and then just shopping and seeing what everybody else finds. For me, I do think it is so much more fun if you have a friend to go with. All right, so as we are entering into yard sale season 2023, these are my 3 boundaries. All right, boundary number 1 is we will only be going to community or neighborhood yard sales unless they are in a very close radius to where we live. I mentioned that last fall it was kind of frustrating, and a lot of times it was because we were so eager to go, and my Saturdays were so far and few between that I was actually available. I had a lot of work obligations, and that was such a good thing. But when we would have a chance to go to yard sales, it was just like, well, it's fine. Whatever we find is fine. And then it would end up that we had driven so far and drug the kids out that way, and the things that were for sale were not good quality items. They were not good prices. It wasn't like one person's trash is another person's treasure. It was really some of those, if you shop secondhand, you've been there, it's just trash. There's no redeeming quality there. And we ran into that, it seemed like a few Saturdays in a row, and the company was great, the food was great, but there was no enjoyment in the actual shopping, and it made for the kids getting tired, and I couldn't blame them. So the boundary this year is, unless there is just a huge grouping of yard sales, I would consider that close enough to a community sale. Okay, we have found 5 or 6 sales that are within a 5-mile radius of each other. Okay, that we can do. Or a community sale or a neighborhood sale. But if the Saturday comes and there is one here, and then you have to drive 10 miles to the next one, and then 10 miles to the next one, that's just not going to work in this stage of life. All right, number 2 is still a work in progress. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do that, and I guess I don't really have to share how I'm going to do that. But I'm going to place a hard and fast limit on what the kids are allowed to pick out and buy. Likely this will involve either a price limit or an item number limit. And at least for our 5-year-old, this will involve him using his own money. You know, I don't give a lot of parenting advice here. I don't talk about that a lot, but it is important to me that they learn to steward their money well. And it's important to me that they realize what things cost. It's also important to me that they realize that our home is a container that can only hold so many things. So while I understand that I don't need to purchase something at every stop, that's something that they have to learn. And so my goal is to help them learn that. So right away, we are going to have this boundary. So that way, this isn't something we have to revisit and feel surprised about. It will be something that they already have an expectation for, that they either can spend X amount of dollars or buy X amount of items. Like I said, I still don't quite have it figured out. You'll have to leave me comments down below if you've kind of done this with your kids in the past. But that is something that we are going to be doing this year. All right, and the last thing actually involves our main Christmas gift to them this past Christmas. If you followed along with Vlogmas, you already know, and if not, I will link those videos down below. But we got them each their own portable DVD player for the car. These are very high quality, very shock resistant DVD players that we found on Amazon. They came recommended from a friend. And we got these primarily for long road trips. It was very important to us that these are not going to be an every time we get in the car kind of thing. That was just something we wanted to reserve for road trips. Well, if you think about it, yard sales are kind of like a little mini road trip. And so I think that this will be nice. They each have their own separate units so they can pick their own separate movies. And I think that will help provide a little bit of entertainment for them while we are having the entertainment of visiting with one another and going to yard sales. I do love yard sailing so much. It's why I created an entire channel called Yard Sale Squad, because it's just one of my favorite things to do. It is cheap entertainment, it is fun, it is something that the family can join in on, and that's the whole point. This is the first time that I've ever experienced any sort of pull away from or resistance towards yard sales. And I think it's just because when you are in a busy stage of life, and so many of us are, you want to protect those weekends. You want to protect those Saturdays. So you don't want to come home midway through your Saturday feeling beaten down and like you have gone all over the place and have nothing to show for it. Sometimes that happens, but you don't want it to be your every Saturday story. So I figured if I'm experiencing this, that there had to be somebody else that has some sort of struggle, something that has kept them from going yard sailing or feeling like I can't do this during my stage in life. Certainly we do go through different stages and all of us are at different places, and there may be some people where it really just is not feasible for you to go yard sailing right now. But I just wanted to share these tips so that if you are in that place, these might be some things to kind of get your brain thinking maybe what could be tips of your own. So feel free to use these, feel free to come up with your own, and leave me a comment down below if you are excited about yard sales this season. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait for a season of yard sailing and hauls, and I hope that you will come along for the ride. If you are new here, you can press that red subscribe button. You can also give this video a thumbs up. That helps to kind of spread my video out onto YouTube land, and I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you soon.